During the Sengoku period, a boy named Michikatsu Sugikuni was born. He had a twin brother, Yoriichi, who was destined to be sent to a temple when he turned 10 due to his odd birthmark. Yoriichi and Michikatsu grew up very differently, Yoriichi being confined to a small room separated from the rest of the house and kept away from his brother. Michikatsu, who snuck behind their father's back to see his brother, pitied Yoriichi, who was thought to be deaf and clung to his mother's side whenever Michikatsu saw her. At some point, he gave Yoriichi a flute he had made as a gift. Around when Michikatsu was 7, he was practicing sword swings while his brother watched. It was then that Yoriichi spoke for the first time, shocking Michikatsu. However, Yoriichi's declaration of his goal to become a samurai like his brother was dismissed, as he would soon be sent to a temple. Nonetheless, Yoriichi continued to watch Michikatsu's training, and one day, one of their father's men offered to give Yoriichi some instruction. Though he only showed Yoriichi a basic stance, the boy was able to land 4 blows on the man. This incident bewildered Michikatsu, who had never before landed a blow, and he begged his brother to teach him his secret. To Michikatsu's disappointment, Yoriichi only expressed his distaste for combat and stated that he no longer wanted to become a samurai. Once, however, Yoriichi mentioned that before he took a stance, he breathed deeply, examining his bone alignment, muscle contraction, and blood flow, implying an early form of the sun-breathing style that Yoriichi would later adopt. This conversation caused Michikatsu to realize that for Yoriichi, the bodies of living things were transparent, causing him to pursue mastery of the blade with renewed intensity. Before we continue any further, we want to thank Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. If you've heard of Raid, you know it's got a ton of champions, over 600 now, but it's also got a ton of badass bosses that fight in totally unique ways. Let's take a look at one now, Sir Galaroth, Guardian of the Arcane Keep. Unlike most of the other bosses, this dude is actually a pretty nice guy. He is guarding arcane potions, and he's checking to see if you are worthy of getting your hands on them. To do that, you've got to beat him up, which can be a little tricky. His main mechanic is in his basic attack. It deals a ton of extra damage to any champion without buffs, so your mission is to keep buffs on your team at any cost. Seems easy, but it's complicated by the boss left minion, and trust me, this guy is so annoying. Raid's got a ton happening this month, with a fresh rotation of the brutal Hydra boss, and a ton of events and tournaments every single day, including some special Valentine's Day events where you can get your hands on a brand new legendary champion. This is the best time to get started in Raid, and if you click my link in the description or scan my QR code, you'll get cool bonuses. We're talking a free epic champion, Vergus, 200,000 silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shard so you can summon awesome champions as soon as you get in game. The rewards will be waiting for you here. As Michikatsu studied the sword, he felt envious of his brother, who he felt was squandering his natural physical talent. He also feared that, now that their father likely knew about Yoriichi's immense potential, their roles would be swapped and he would be the one sent to the temple in Yoriichi's place. Yoriichi recognized this as well, the night that their mother finally succumbed to her illness. He came to Michikatsu's room at 3 in the morning to tell his brother the news and bid him farewell, as he planned to leave for the temple before their father could make Yoriichi the family's new successor. Yoriichi expressed gratitude to his brother and fondly held the flute that Michikatsu had given him earlier. Michikatsu, however, was irritated, wondering how Yoriichi could treasure a flute that couldn't even play in tune, and watched his brother depart while saying nothing. His jealousy of his brother only grew when he read his mother's diary following her death, which revealed that Yoriichi had known everything about their mother's illness and had planned accordingly. From then on, Michikatsu resented Yoriichi, who he realized to be not only physically gifted, but a genius as well. He wished for his brother's death and for the next few years. Not hearing anything from him, he believed it to be true. 10 years later, Michikatsu became a samurai and married a woman who gave birth to 2 of his children. One night, a demon attacked his camp and left him the only survivor, but was quickly killed by Yoriichi, who came to his rescue and apologized for not being able to save his subordinates. Seeing the object of his hatred again and twisted by jealousy, Michikatsu abandoned his family and became a demon slayer to train with Yoriichi. He saw his brother attempt to teach the other demon slayers his own breathing technique without success. Regardless, he altered them to suit their own strength, creating the first breathing techniques. Eventually, Michikatsu awakened a demon slayer mark and developed a breathing style derived from the sun breathing, known as the moon breathing. Despite this accomplishment, it left a bitter taste as it was still not as powerful as Yoriichi's own sun breathing. As a demon slayer, Michikatsu was often prideful in the uniqueness of their generation, but was irritated by his brother's optimism when he brought up the fact that the pair had no successors in line for their unique breathing styles, the sun breathing and moon breathing. Frustrated from being unable to surpass his brother, as well as fearing the fated death of those who awakened their demon slayer marks, Michikatsu was persuaded by Muzan Kibutsuji and became a demon, taking the name Kokushibo.